Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, as we enter the final stages of the 2017 striped bass season here in New England, I recently put together a little something for thefisherman.com which discusses the possible existence of 100-pound striped bass in our local waters. You know, these are the kind of things that run through my mind as I cast away for hours on end in the surf at night when, you know, those hitless nights where you just keep casting and nothing seems to be in front of you. But it's stuff like this, when it gets into my head, that helps me to make those dozen extra last casts, or as I prep to head out for the night to begin with, it gets me out of bed when the alarm clock goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning and I know I got to put on a cold, possibly wet wetsuit from the night before, as I've had to do the last few nights. Always looking for something to continue to push, and yeah, these are the kind of things that run through my head, as I said, so give it a look and let me know what you think. All right, moving on into the reports for the week. I'm going to start off in Connecticut, where, let's see, we got a lot going on. Albies are still poking around in pretty good numbers. Blackfish are chewing crabs on the local rock piles, and some really big striped bass are still around, like the one that Jim landed while he's fishing aboard reel cast charters. There's still some bunker in Long Island Sound, and obviously if you can find that school of big bunker right now, your chances go through the roof of finding a really, really big striped bass. And over in Rhode Island, after the windy weather that we had last week, blackfishing in Rhode Island has really bounced back in the last few days, with some pretty good catches being reported across the fleet. Fisherman subscriber Glenn Verdini fished aboard Big Game Fish in Rhode Island over the weekend, and he had tog up to 10.5 pounds, as well as a full boat limit of big black sea bass for him and his crew. And speaking of black sea bass, word from all the boats that I talked to recently that have been heading out for cod have reported almost nuisance level of black sea bass out on the cod grounds. So just want to give you a heads up that if you are targeting cod in some of those deeper waters, these sea bass are moving through. So be prepared to try to have to weed through those tasty sea bass to get to some of the cod. And then lastly, up in Massachusetts, there's still pretty solid tuna bite taking place from pretty much out east, southeast of Chatham, all the way on up to Stellwagen Bank, with a mix of fish from small schoolies to 700-800 pound fish, which obviously those giants got to be released, as right now only recreational fishery remains open, so that means all the sub 73-inch fish can be retained. Anything bigger than that has to be safely and quickly returned to the water. But there's plenty of those smaller fish around, and it is producing some awesome action for the boats that are still in the water. All right, well, there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma. Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today.